Yeah, and I think this is the note that I want to leave off on. What does this mean operationally for CISOs and people challenged with this? Like the security exception patch period is over. The exception to patching the appliance. This is what I call the appliance problem. And most of us who deal in IT operations will notice this right off the bat. There's this vendor provided appliance that's basically Linux, closed box, black box Linux system that is delivered as an appliance. If we remember back to if you're old enough to remember back to the Cold Red days, and your Xerox machine got a virus because it ran a version of Windows NT that got infected with Cold Red. This is that problem escalated because Mythos is more Mythos allows the targeted use of this. So what we've done for years in enterprise IT is that if we have a search appliance that's provided by a search vendor, security patches are the Linux security patches are applied when that vendor provides us a firmware upgrade for that appliance. Well, Mythos kind of breaks that model. We can't get an exception if our scanners say that a vulnerability exists on a system. Chances are the vulnerability exists on the system, and the agentic based assaults against our overall system will now be able to chain together these systems in ways that we just couldn't think of before. So it'll compromise an appliance, a security issue on a chain of appliances to eventually access our SAP, which is hardened except for the connections to these appliances. This is where, this is my warning. Like from a policy, we have to revisit our exception policy, and exceptions have to truly be exceptions. That there's no way that we can harden this system in a way that prevents these vulnerabilities from being taken advantage of.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think there's, as you, I think very correctly observed, this idea of, okay, well, we patch once a month, and let's just take the most important bugs because the others probably don't matter. That becomes way too slow, and obviously the chaining effect is also important. Like maybe some individually lower impact vulnerabilities could be chained together to achieve the attacker's goal. I still think actually that there's still one more step that needs to be done. And if one reads the Mythos report in a little more detail, the focus is still very much on vulnerability discovery, but not so much on exploitation. So they are very, very good at finding bugs now, but there's still a step from the actual finding a vulnerability to a working exploit. And I think Anthropic had these levels from level 1 to level 5, from hey, I just found the bug level 1 to I have a full exploit level 5. And it got much better, but it still was, I think, in the order of like 20% that were fully exploitable. So there's still a little bit of time, but obviously the next model will be better in exploiting and then better in chaining, and so that is coming. That wave is coming, and so one will have to batch everything, or at least buy yourself some time by putting out some compensating controls or shields, where you say, hey, I'll make sure to block a certain attack. Yes, it's not perfect. Yes, I have to patch, but at least I have a little bit more time.